Hello and welcome back to another rendition of Space Engineers. I would just like to say that thanks to my beautiful recording system and the fact that I can't remember what the hell happened, I deleted a bunch of footage like a dumbass. But I will have to show you what I have done and how I've done it. And kind of give a little feedback on, where we're at and what we've done. So, without further ado, let's get over here. Alright, so everyone knows our beautiful little base. Now, if I had not shown how I fix this, I will show you now. Just in case, we'll go OK. We'll bring up this LCD over here. Click there. We'll go LCD. Now, notice that I have it's an exclamation point. The word link, colon, A, space, and then 1, and then you repeat the process down for which panels you'd like to link. Now if you do A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, so forth and so on, you can actually have multiple screens doing whole different things, and you can stack them. Instead of having it go like this, you can stack them where you do one on top of the other, and then have where this set over here only displays ore summary and ingot summary, and then the two set over here shows your component summary, which is actually a very long list if you see it, because it starts right there and goes all the way through that and is there. So it's technically 1 1/4 of his LCD screen. A wide LCD screen turned 90 degrees. I think you can force it to rotate the image, but I can't remember. And then of course another one showing your gas summary, ammo summary, and then tools summary. Yes, I've died a few times, but I went ahead and removed some things, just because, one, we needed the resources. So of course there's our one programmable block and our one timer for that programmable block to run that system there. I did also download the TIMS system, is what it's called. I think it'll be a very fascinating and interesting system. It's a inventory management system that allows you to go through and manage your inventory by container. I mean, you can go down and separate how much you want in each container and this other stuff. I learned a little bit of it from Sage. You can check out one of his videos. I went ahead and looked it up and then read through it, and it's a pretty in-depth program, a lot more in-depth than this one is. This one's more just to display stuff or display particular things, whereas that one actually fully manages the inventory. I mean, including ships that you connect or disconnect from connectors. One of the things he shows is that he has one of his ships that are set up that connect to one of the connectors, and it shows that the inventory priority is set up so that it will deliver, what was it, 100 or something of everything that he wanted to build with. So when he connected his ship up to a connector, it would automatically move that inventory, if it wasn't already in there, into his thing. So he didn't have to go through the whole process of move this and move that and do this and do that. So with that being said, implementing TIMS, when we start actually getting a little bit more ships and get a better welding ship and grinding ship and the whole 9 yards, I think that might be something that would be more applicable and would definitely help a lot when it comes to the overall setup of the Space Engineers. So, also too, let's go ahead and check out the lower floor, because this is just the top half of there. We got our oxygen generator here. One thing you guys hadn't seen is that I added these stairs right here. I added these stairs, that's what I did. And I added a doorway over here. I also added a secondary assembler, which is right here. See, assembler number 2. Then I added an outside doorway, which will go out there later. Of course, our big hydrogen tank. We'll go ahead and run downstairs the rest of the way. Now we have our standard medical bay that hasn't changed much, but oh, what is this? We've added a whole bunch of stuff here. Look at this, 1, 2, 3 more arc furnaces, another refinery that's really working through some stuff. But what is all of this? This is new, isn't it? Yes, it is. I've been busy underground. I made myself a little big ship to help with the excavation of resources. actually just to clear out the whole area. I have an idea that I'd like to build a giant ass ship underground and then use either weapons or use drills or something of that nature, maybe like another one of those drill ships, to have it come through and bore its way out of the surface and bust out of the ground, or continue out further that way and have it come out of the ice lake area, since there's a nice good area to do that. And then it would just be rotate the ship and fly down that way. So as you can see, let me check my inventory, make sure I got hide. Okay, I do. Alright, so as you can see, we have made a lot of clearing progress. I mean, all this. And I got super trigger happy and totally screwed up and deleted this instead of gathering the damn silicone. I feel like a moron a little bit, but, you know, I can't help it. Destroyed a bunch of the nickel, but there's a lot more nickel and silicone where it came from, because it is one of the second highest resources on this planet, right up there with iron. So then here's where a little... So, come down here, you'll notice that we've got this platform built out here. Well, it's for my secret big ship that I'm thinking about releasing on the Steam Workshop. It's a little bit tricky. There's a few things that I have to modify with it. There's a thruster issue when involved on getting out of atmosphere, and I'm not quite for sure if it was a game glitch or if it was the fact that I had too much stuff in it. So I'm going to do some more preliminary testing and then go from there. But we have it cleared out underneath here, so what I can do is I can run piping underneath, keep this all nice and clean like, run piping, and then have a piping dock system that'll piston out and dock into the ship. Now, just to kind of give you... It kind of freaked out a little bit, not much. Not much at all. Okay. This is the Excalibur, one of my own design ships. It's a very big ship. I mean, I still got to clear a little bit of the roof out because it's technically touching. It's got one of these really large hangar bays in here for a couple of ships. It's crew quarters, cryopods, medical deck. It's got 2 upper launch decks for either fighters or quick explorers or something like that. It's got atmospheric thrusters, it's got hydrogen thrusters, and it's got ion thrusters. Now, if you'll notice, there is no braking thrusters on this thing. Where are all my thruster pack back here is the only thing that is truly visible. Now, obviously the rear hydrogen engine is not visible because it is conveniently tucked away back here. Nice and neat in behind these blocks. And it looks really cool. Gives it this kind of, all you see is these, and then when you need that extra boost of go-go, you throw on the large hydrogen thruster, and then wham, you get that extra speed of go. But if you come through here and you're like, well, there's only one hydrogen thruster there for left and right, and it's 2 atmospheric those aren't enough to slow this ship doing left and right. And I will say this ship does not do the left and right very easily, but it can. So if we'll scream through this hologram here, you can see I have all my braking thrusters tucked within the ship. They are nicely hidden within inside the ship. I've also got some extra up thrust to keep me aloft, and some extra side thrust inside of the ship. So it's all conveniently tucked inside of the ship. Now, my original goal was to have all thrusters except for the main engine pack at the back to be tucked away. You can see there's some more side thrusters with the ion engines. Since ion engines don't really work very well in atmosphere, it's kind of a sad left to right adjustment. But with this ship, you should not be doing left to right adjustments at any kind of speed. This should be a point in a direction and go. But this is my Excalibur version of the ship. It's got some armaments on it, as you can see. I mean, it's kind of decked out in Gatling guns. There's a, 1, 2, 3, 4 down the sides on each side, and then like several on the top. There's one up front, one in the second portion there, and then I think there's 2 in the back. I think, no, 3 in the back, it looks like. And those face backwards. I'd have the turret rotation turned off so that they always point in that direction. However, what they will do is they'll obviously track and they'll turn to face enemies and such. I do have some lower turrets, just because you can't really protect everywhere but one place kind of thing. But anyway, there's my big ship. It's, like I said, there's a few adjustments I might need to do to it. Now, these fake landing gear looking things I've got underneath here, I was going to do actual landing gear and then have, you know, like 2 sets of 4 or something like that in places. But I noticed that with the more and more things we had issues with landing gear, we had more and more chances that Clang would come by and knock on our door. And frankly, I do enough things to help promote Clang that I don't need any extra help. So I think what'll happen is once this ship's aloft, I'm going to cut those off, and then that's it with those. And we're talking no landing gear whatsoever. So once she's aloft, she's aloft. Even the atmospheric down thrusters, that's one thing I forgot to say. Did I really run out of hydrogen? Okay, no I didn't. I was going to say. All the atmospheric thrusters are tucked in the ship as best as possible. So if need be, I mean, you could technically land on them if you wanted to. They do show the smaller ships landing on them, but you're talking about less than 2 meters a second. Any more than that, and you're going to blow them out. There's the under tour, and like I said, I added another refinery. So we have 2 refineries. We have 5 in total arc furnaces. The 2 upstairs, and I forgot it was the other way. There we go. That was dumb. There. Let's go ahead and open up our door here. And then I've got a really interesting surprise that I was running low on some resources, some important resources. And instead of doing the appropriate thing and building a little ship that's got a scanner on it or an ore sensor and then just flying it around and checking stuff out, I decided that I was going to be crafty. I was going to go to the pirate base that was over there and take it over. Well, after about 3 or 4 deaths and 1 or 2 accidents, I finally managed to beat it, and I killed all the turrets and such, and I claimed the base as mine, and then I thought, yay, I've got all these resources now, how the hell do I get them over to my base? Well, I had a couple of options. Option 1 being is that I come over here and I get my ships, my miner ship here, or not my miner, but my welder stuff, and fill it up and go from there and do that, or use my miner, and yeah, and then come back to my base and land and drop it all off and then go back and then do the resources back and forth, back and forth. And then I thought, you know what, that's such a waste of uranium. I'm talking, that's a lot of waste of uranium. And battery power, if I was running everything on battery. So, I decided to bring the base over here. Yes, that's right. I bought the enemy base to my base. Now I had to, you know, obviously grind down everything that was the enemies, otherwise my turrets would have shot at it. And go from there. So I went through and added on over here. I added a nice little secondary platform so I could land the gunfighter over there and have my grinder ship over there, and my other drill ship is downstairs. My brain went out on me there. I went ahead and plumbed it up so it's all nice and plumbed and everything's hooked together. So I built a few engines on it because I didn't know how many it would take to fly it, and I didn't know how many it would take to crash it. But I wanted to make sure if I was going to do one or the other, I would do it in awesomeness. So I went ahead and added to that, and I changed up the little bit of the platform up here so I could land a ship and dock if need be. And then you're thinking, where's the chair? How'd you fly this thing? Did you fly it by remote? No, I did not. That would have been crazy and excellently awesome, but I'm not that cool. I actually just put a control seat up here underneath the antenna. And then when I placed it, I realized that I made a boo-boo because there was another one of these pillar things right there, which apparently now in Space Engineers, their collision box means that it resets the camera to first-person view. And if you've seen any of the videos on Space Engineers, especially the one with Sage, you'll notice that when you rotate your camera around and it bumps one of those things, it jumps you back to first person, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. So I went and cleared it out. But I ended up bringing the enemy base home. Now I was thinking, well, what am I going to do with this giant piece of crap? I've got a reactor here that's not plumbed into anything. And I got this giant ass cargo container, which right now is actually only harvesting or holding my ingots and ores. And so yeah, I mean, I don't know what to do. I'm thinking that I know what to do. The whole thing needs to get ground down, and the resources need to go into our base. But is that what I want to do? I mean, these are a lot of heavy armor, but I don't know if anybody's ever ground down heavy armor blocks, but oh my god, do they take forever. So, it just seems like that was not appropriate. But, I don't know, it's going to stay up for right now, and maybe, just maybe, I'll figure out what I'm going to do with it later on. So, over here you have my side entrance door that I made, because, you know, I got really tired of either flying up and over and around. And, so yeah, that's the side entrance door. And I just fell off the side, because I'm a goofy. Alright. So over here we have the buttons, and just like the hangar door up there, I went ahead and listed what each button does. In this case, I ended up having 4 buttons instead of just 2. I could have grouped the pistons that control the elevator, but I figured it would run into a little bit more of a problem should I do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to click this one, I'm going to click that one, I think, maybe. Let's just double hit that, there we go. And then jump over here and we'll write it down. Now I did use the blast door blocks and then heavy armor blocks here on the 3 piston points. I was going to do a 4 piston point. However, I forgot that with the merge block system, and I've had very bad luck merging 4 pistons together, so I ended up only using 1 drive, 1 actual piston connects all of this together, and then 2 support pistons. Obviously I need to weld these sliders that guide the thing down square. They take a lot of resources. I mean, we're talking several, turn UI on here, it's 115 plus 50, so 130 steel plate per block of those. That's a lot of damn steel plate in this. Now I thought about changing out all the center cores for like light armor blocks. The downside I thought with that is that if I land a ship on it and the engines burn it, if the engines burn it just enough where it causes a structural integrity issue, I don't think they're gonna include that in Space Engineers yet. How awesome does that ship look? I'm sorry, shiny object moment. How awesome does that ship look? That's just when coming down, it's like there it is. It's revealing itself. And I mean, to me, that's just awesome as shit. And like I said, I might drill like straight out that way, and then have it very slightly slope up, and then put some doors way the hell down there with their own power supply and such, or go that way with it after I mine out all the uranium and stuff over there, and then have it fly out and come out over the lake over some big doors or something. I don't know yet. I haven't decided, and plus that is a really big ship, and it's going to take me a really long time to finish it. And I know some people that, oh, well, that's not a big ship. And I mean, that is a very huge ship. Let me tell you, I mean, those are all large blocks down there, station blocks. I mean, there's a lot of them down there. And so just to kind of give you an idea how big that ship is, I'm going to turn that off before my computer decides to take a shit on me, because it might. Because it can hate me sometimes. And also to kind of save power, because that is a big ship. Oh, so yeah, so down here we have our little setup. Now, I was thinking that I could have this drop a little bit lower, and then change out these corner L ones that look like those, for more to drop down. And then I thought, you know what, no, that's a good height. If I did change the minimal height, I was worrying about it slipping off of these things, for a couple reasons. One, this is still enough room through here to fly a ship in, especially the miner ship. There's enough room for it to do that. It's not quite uncomfortable, but it is fairly close. I'm just checking my hydrogen. And So we've done quite a bit down here. We've welded up quite a bit by hand, and some of it with the welding.